Hello and welcome to No Sevens, college football picks week 11. Well, guys, we finished out week 10. We broke even. We won 2 games. We lost 2 games. And if you notice, I have a bigger whiteboard because I had some people ask me if I can have a bigger whiteboard. So I have a bigger whiteboard so that way you guys can see all the picks. We went 2-2 on our spread last week, so we're still doing good. We made a little bit of money, but we didn't make a lot of money. A couple of key losses on that Florida game that should have that catch that Georgia player had should have never been called, and Auburn just looked like they were lost at Ole Miss. They just didn't know what was going on. And then, of course, our dark horse didn't cover, but our bullies did cover on that pick, and we covered on the Michigan and we covered on the Utah game. So we didn't do too bad. We made a little bit of money. We made a little bit of headway. All right, so moving on to week 11. So this is going to be week 11. So, all right. So the first game we're going to talk about is Penn State at Minnesota. Last time I checked, Penn State was still at number 5, and then of course you know the death curse of the number 5 spot is the last 2 teams that were at number 5 both lost, and that was Wisconsin and Oklahoma, both lost at number 5 spot. But I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to take Penn State -7 at Minnesota. I think Penn State is going to just power through. I don't think Minnesota has a chance to win this game. So we're going to take Penn State -7. So I'm going to write that down on the board. So we're going to take Penn State -7. I think they're just going to keep on going. I think they're a strong team. I think they're going to do really well at Minnesota. And I just think that they're just a more dominant, more athletic group than Minnesota is. And let's see, can you guys see it? I might have to go to a darker color. All right, so we're going to do, and then the next one is Baylor at TCU. Baylor is -2. And Baylor had some struggles on that Thursday night game. But the reason why I'm going with Baylor on this one is they have time to rest. They played that Thursday night game, so they have plenty of time to rest. And even though they're going to TCU, it's pretty much an in-state game, so they don't have to worry about travel or fatigue. So I like Baylor. I think they're going to keep on rolling. And so we're going to go with Baylor -2. And that line probably will change later on in the week. It probably won't be -2. It might be -4 or 5 or higher afterwards. So we're going to go Baylor -2. And then the next game that everybody keeps on talking about is the LSU-Alabama game. I received lots of requests on this game. Who do I like? This is going to be another game of the century, 2011 series, but it's not going to be a defense. It's not going to be a 9-6 game. This game is going to be an offensive shootout, especially if Tua comes back. If Tua doesn't come back, I think LSU is going to win pretty easily if Tua doesn't come back. If Tua comes back, it'll probably be a lot closer horse race. Right now, LSU is +7. The way LSU is playing and the way I'm not sure that Tua is going to play, and if he does come back, I don't think he's going to be 100%. I think he's going to be about 70, 80%. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take LSU +7. And Alabama's defense is just like LSU's defense. So they don't have a dominant defense like they did in years past. So I think that's the reason why I'm favoring more LSU this year than I am Alabama. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take LSU +7. And that offensive line and for LSU has been redesigned and re-engineered to handle Alabama's aggressive defensive line. That's the reason why they were able to handle Florida's defensive line and Alabama's defensive line. Auburn's defensive line so well over these past couple of games is because they're built to handle that massive rush style defensive line that Alabama has. And if you notice, it's becoming more copycat in the SEC. Florida's developing it, and so is Auburn. But I don't think that if it is the quarterback, I can't think of his name right now, the quarterback that's subbing in for Tua does not have the game experience like Tua does. Their wide receivers are very gifted. LSU's corners are also very gifted. So it's going to be almost kind of like an NFL matchup right there. Alabama's receivers versus LSU's secondary. But I think LSU's is going to play out there and going to play aggressive. LSU is battle tested, and Alabama hasn't really played anybody. And the only thing I also have to say about this game is I really wish this was a night game. I don't like it being at a 2:30 kickoff. So I'm going to take LSU +7. I want to make sure I covered everything in the emails. So I'm going through the emails while I'm talking. So, yep, looks like everything's covered. A lot of Alabama fans are probably going to send me some more emails saying why in the world I'm taking LSU, but I'm going to take LSU. So, and if you don't, you can take Bama -7. It's totally up to you. These are my picks. These are what I'm going with. Clemson at North Carolina State. I have two teams that I went with. I'm seesawing back and forth. So I decided to take Clemson at North Carolina State. North Carolina State played last week, and they just totally got demolished. They were playing Wake Forest. Wake Forest just steamrolled them. I don't even think they even got off the bus when they even arrived at Wake Forest. So I'm going to take Clemson -32. Normally I don't like to take Clemson any higher than 25, but the way N.C.State played, I think Clemson's going to easily handle this. So we're going to take Clemson -32. And this line might move up to 35 by the end of the week. The other team I was looking at before I get into my dark horse was Oklahoma and Iowa State. Right now, Oklahoma is -13.5 points against Iowa State. Both really good offenses, so it's going to be a shootout. So this 13.5 points could seesaw either way. And by the end of the week, I could see this going, Oklahoma going up to about 16, 17, -16, -17. So, those are my two picks. I'm kind of seesawing back and forth as either Clemson or Oklahoma. But my dark horse pick for this week is Kansas State at Texas. Kansas State has played really well over the past couple of weeks. They're playing lights out football right now. So my dark horse pick is I'm going to take, and it's hard to believe that they didn't favor Kansas State. They're going to Texas, but I'm going to take Kansas State +5. And that's what it is on Sunday right now. Kansas State +5. That's my dark horse team for the week. That's who I'm going to pick for my dark horse is Kansas State +5. And as you can see, my record is 15 wins and 5 losses so far this season since I started doing this on YouTube. Pretty good win percentage. And then my bully picks for this week is Penn State, Ohio State, Florida, Clemson, Georgia, and Oklahoma. Those are my bully picks for this week. I didn't put LSU or Bama because they're playing each other. That's going to be a very close race. And that's pretty much about it. I also wanted to explain to you guys, because I haven't really explained this to you. So I'm going to give you an example on how I pick. I give you guys the scenarios on how I pick, but I'm going to show you exactly how the mathematics of how I do my picks. So that way you guys understand. I know I tell you how to do the parlays and everything else. So the way I do it is trying to look at my camera. Okay, so the way I do it is I'm going to do, hold on one second, I'm trying to make sure I get in view of the camera. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to show you guys. So I'm just going to round the board and I'm going to show you. So I'm going to do, as I'm going to take Penn State. So we're going to do one ticket for Penn, one ticket. I'm going to write this down. I'm going to show you guys. One ticket and one ticket for Baylor, one ticket for LSU, and one ticket for Clemson or Oklahoma, whichever one you want to go with, if you even want to go with these tickets. So I'm going to do, and this is just an example. This isn't how much I bet, but I'm just going to give you guys an example. So I'm going to go $20 on each individual ticket. Okay? So it's going to look like this. So $20 on each individual ticket. So I'm going to do Penn State one ticket, Baylor one ticket, LSU one ticket, Clemson one ticket. And then I'm going to parlay for the first time. You guys are witnessing this. I do not have two SEC teams, so I can't parlay an SEC team. I thought about doing the Georgia. I also thought about doing the Florida game, but I didn't do that. So, all right, so the next ones we're going to do, and this is in no particular order. I'm just going to do this in random. So we're going to parlay Penn State and Baylor, and we're going to do a parlay. And then this is going to be $10. And then we're going to parlay the LSU and Clemson game for $10. All right, so you guys can see that. So this way the individual tickets will cover, and then the parlays for the Penn State and Baylor will also be about $37 roughly, give or take, and then the LSU Clemson game will probably be around $37 also. So that way, if you do have a one loss, it is tearing down, and that way you're still making money. And if the Penn State Baylor wins on the parlay, you're making even more money. That's how we're winners on week 10. When we picked Michigan, and Utah was that parlay, and we made money that way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to parlay all this, or a round robin, whatever you want. I'll do a round robin. Sometimes I'll do a parlay. More than likely, I'll use round robins because they pay off more. But for this, I'll do $5 for the 4. All right, this is an example. This isn't how I bet, but this is to give you an amount so that way you guys can see it. You can do the parlays for $5, all 4 teams. If you hit all 4 teams, if you go 4-0, it will pay you $65 or $60, give or take. And then this way you're tearing down on the next stage. So you start off big on your individual tickets. The next stage, you go in half. And then the next stage on that, you go in half again. So you can do each individual ticket for $100. That's $400. Then $50 on your parlays, and then $25 on your 4-ticket parlay or your round robin. So I wanted to show you how I bet and how I am successful, tearing up, because and you guys are going to laugh at the difference. I'm going to show you guys this. So this was last week's. Okay, and the Michigan and the Utah game won for us, and then so I parlayed that, and I took the individual tickets. I wanted to show you that real quick. But that's pretty much it about week 11. I really didn't go too much in depth about anything. I just want to make sure I had everything covered for you. Just keep on sending me emails. I appreciate all your emails, and depending on how many subscribers I have at the end of college football week, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a college bowl challenge, and for whoever has the best picks, and I'm going to go more in details later on if you guys are even paying attention, if you guys didn't sign off, but I'm going to do a $50 Amazon gift card. I'm writing this down. Hold on one second. I'm going to do a $50 Amazon gift card for the winner who picks the perfect bowl season. And they're going to compete against the subscribers. They're going to compete against me. And it's going to be a straight up. There's not going to be any point spreads. It's going to be the best team wins. and whoever has the best winning record at the end of the bowl season is going to win. I'm going to go more into details next coming weeks, but that's the Amazon Bowl Challenge that I'm going to do for you guys, so that way we can see who's the best picker out there. So, and we're going to go more into details later on in the month of November. But hard to believe that we're already at the end of October, beginning of November. It's flying by. Like I said, you don't have to pick my picks. I just want to give you guys an example of my picks, who I'm going with this week. Hopefully, the tier system helps explain everything for you. And I wish you lots of luck at the sports betting this week. And I'll talk to you guys later on this week when I do my craps video strategy. So thanks for tuning in, and good luck with everything. And I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.